Hi guys, I'm here with another story for you out of the Good Old Days magazine that I'm reading. This one is by DIANE C. ARKINS, and it is titled The Trick-or-Treat Trials. There was so much strategy involved. And this was in 1960, same year my mom was born. You can see these costumes that they're wearing. The blue dress is some princess, probably Cinderella, and her little sister there. And the yellow is Tinkerbell. And those came from the dime store, complete with mask, wand, and all. And then here's two other outfits they wore. Trick-or-treating another time. So let me read the story to you guys. During the 1950s, Halloween night was arguably the most wildly anticipated event on the kitty calendar. By mid-autumn, those in the under 10 set had gone months, a virtual eternity in any child's mind, without so much as a firework display or roadside carnival to look forward to. As of October 31st loomed large, visions of gooey, chewy sugar plums began to dance in our heads. The neighborhood of my youth, a suburb of smallish ranches and bungalows built on lots so narrow they practically gasped for breath, seemed to have been custom-made for the special night when sidewalks burst forth with toddling baby boomers. The eerily welcoming glow of jack-o'-lanterns, at least on every doorstep, was our invitation to embrace not only the timeless last vintage of autumn's splendor, but also the unknowing bask in what would become of waning days of a slippery, cozy era hallmarked by stay-at-home moms, clotheslines, and neighborhoods who gathered with their neighbors on front steps on hot summer nights. The Halloween season began each year with costume selection at the local Five and Dime. What to choose, Indian chief or fairy princess, cowboy or cowgirl, Frankenstein or bride of? I usually set my sights on a popular Collegeville or Ben Cooper brand original, despite the fact that their patented hard plastic full-face mask designs posed a fit dilemma for types like me, who were doomed to wear corrective lenses at an early age. Should you recall how poorly the eye slots fit on the typical 50-era's Halloween plastic fake masks? Just try to imagine what it was like trying to place that style of plastoid disguise over a pair of eyeglasses. My specs usually cause my mask, already oddly designed eye slots, to shift some 2 inches northward of my nose, while ever-elasting temperatures within it steamed up my lenses to boot. It was nothing less than a miracle that I was to run over by a 56-olds as I crossed the streets. Late October nights in the Midwest were usually frosty enough for Mom to insist that my younger sister and I wear heavy-duty winter coats over our costumes. They never fit underneath, of course. This effectively negated any pride in thoughtful costume selection, with the exception, of course, of those face masks. As a result, there was more than 1 year when Sis and I celebrated Halloween all decked out in black velvet trimmed coats and fairy princess masks. How festive. Once properly attired and equipped with paper goodie sacks, I hit the trick-or-treaters' trails, desperately seeking sweets, but occasionally facing some perplexing dilemmas of T etiquette along the way. Some of the older homes on our route had enclosed front porches, and as we scrambled up the front walks of the residences, a terrifying back then but quaint in modern days thought suddenly stopped us in our tracks. Was it actually proper? I mean, was it really okay to just open someone else's front door just like that? And then sorta, well gosh, just walk right inside their house like that? What would Mom say? And how, pray tell, to deal with the kindly older folks who invited us in to sit for a spell, no pun intended. Why you didn't even need to know the people down the street for them to extend friendly invitations to you, your Tinkerbell sibling and pals. The only clear and present danger associated with such neighborliness back in 1958 was that these well-meaning hosts, aren't these kids just adorable, ha-ha, were cutting into valuable trick-or-treat time. Such was the problem that haunted, pun intended, the terminally cute. What was a group of candy-greedy youngsters to do? Most of our other stops, save the guy 2 blocks down, except for him, he opted for tricks and tried to scare callers out of their wits with scary get-ups. Were fairly routine and went something like this. Approach target home and admire jack-o'-lanterns. Shout trick-or-treat at top of increasingly weary lungs. Open booty bag. Try to ID descending treat, a Baby Ruth bar, a Milky Way. If dead silence follows, kerplunk of treat. Wonder who in that group felt to honor duty to utter thank you for length of said block. Briskly descend away. Repeat until aching feet. The whole neighborhood we walked around, and then we hastened home earlier than planned, clutching our tasty treasures. For grade schoolers back in the 1950s, the annual quest for Mary Janes, jelly beans, and Butterfingers always seemed the ultimate childhood reward in and of itself. Over the years, though, I learned that more than potential cavities lured within our quest for treats. There was the year, for instance, that my sister was so tiny a reveler that she dragged her booty bag and ground behind her. She ended her trek in tears, a nearly empty bag with a ragged tear across its bottom, several blocks of confections in her wake. The memory of whether I was pushed head first into a lesson in sharing 101 or whether a magnanimous notion inspired sisterly charity remains unclear to this day, but I do recall supplementing her meager haul with excess from my own bounty. Yes, trick-or-treating in those sweet old days was often more than just kid stuff. This merry autumn ritual gave us a tentative launch into other routes we'd all need to travel, a testing of waters of the adult world, if you will. Halloween represented our first forays into life's freedoms and choices, freedoms to set out on our own, to explore the world beyond family and our own front doors, and to control some aspects of our young lives. After all, until that goodie sack was empty, no cupboards were closed, and no cries of, "You'll ruin your dinner," sounded through the house. Back when the merry glow of jack-o'-lanterns lit our way, Halloween fueled both our taste buds and our taste for growing up. So I hope you guys enjoyed that little trick-or-treat story from 1950s, 1960s. I remember going trick-or-treating when I was a kid. It was so much fun. Our little neighborhood back then, till all the older people passed away, and then really most people quit doing it anymore. But so many good memories as a kid of trick-or-treating, and of taking my nieces and nephews trick-or-treating as well. It's always so much fun. I hope you guys enjoyed that little story, and I hope you guys have a great weekend. Bye, guys. God bless.